Mike Welsch coming to you from Churchill Downs with a not-so-subtle reminder in the background of last year's Kentucky Derby winner. Doesn't appear to be any justifies in this year's field, especially from a wagering standpoint. Wide open betting race, and we've already seen and talked about a lot of the contenders, how well a lot of them are doing. The ones we've seen here, the ones that will be shipping in that I got to see down in Florida, even the ones we've got to see on tape from out west. Now this morning, limited action, as we told you yesterday. Only one Derby worker on site here. That was long-range toddy for trainer Steve Asmussen. And as we've discussed before, Steve Asmussen's final Derby works 5 days out before the race, always on Monday. Always kind of easy maintenance stuff, usually in the 49 to 50 range. This morning, a little quicker, but the track is a little quicker the last couple of days, and that matter played part of the reason why long-range toddy won at half in 48 seconds flat, but did it easy, well within himself, looked happy doing it, galloped out in 101 and 3, the rider kind of easing him off the rail to make sure he didn't do too much just 5 days out from the race. But thumbs up for me for that work this morning. I actually thought it was a little better maybe than his previous work, 5/8 of a mile last weekend. There was one local worker for the Oaks. That was Restless Rider, who was supposed to work on Saturday. That work was postponed. As far as I know, she did not go to the track yesterday, according to the track notes from her Ken McPeak's assistant, saying she took the morning off, but she was out to work today, and she won a half mile in 49 and 3. Went a little quick early. She was pretty keen going to the pole. Went 23 and 3. Finished up, got a little tired under Brian Hernandez. Not much of a gallop out, 103 and 1. I've seen Restless Rider working all winter long down at Gulfstream Park, and she was a pretty good workhorse down there. This was a little bit below the standards that I've seen her set. So the fact she did not work Saturday and the fact that she did not go to the track yesterday, not sure if anything's going on there, but she was entered it for the Oaks, and we'll just keep an eye on her the remainder of the week. There were two Derby workers down in Florida this morning. Maximum Security at Palmetto's. According to the clocker, Brian Walls down there went the usual service kind of mile, 158 and 4. The final 3/8 of that work was in 38 and change. The final 8th in 12 flat. When he was asked to run a little bit, actually went out a full mile and an eighth in 2:12. The official time in the paper will read 53 and 4. That was the time for his final half mile. That's just what Jason Service does. This is the third mile work in a row for Maximum Security since his victory in the Florida Derby. Whatever it is, it's a unique style of training, but it sure does work for Jason Service, who told me that if he does get beat in the Kentucky Derby, it won't be because he wasn't fit enough for the race. And Maximum Security will be on a plane tomorrow with several of the other Florida horses coming here for the Derby. Arrives Tuesday afternoon. Also down in Florida at Gulfstream Park West, Bodie Express, who's on the outside looking in for the Derby. He needs one scratch to get in the race, but he is going to be on that plane also, hoping to get one defection. If not, he will train up to the Preakness here at Churchill Downs. He also kind of had a little Jason Service in him this morning. Our trainer, Gustavo Delgado, did. According to his son, Bodie Express galloped a mile and a half. The final 5/8, he was allowed to work in 103 flat. Right now, no rider is committed to Bodie Express if he does get into the race. Nick Juarez has been his regular rider, but no commitment there. As far as Derby workers or gallopers this morning during the session, it was a chilly morning. Everybody kind of on their toes today. Game Winner was the first one out. He went out early at 6:30 and just kind of jogged around there today, second day of jogging for Game Winner. His stablemate Roadster went out during the regular session and did a little bit more, and Game Winner looked like he was on the muscle, like he wanted to do a little bit more today too, so we'll watch him tomorrow. Expect him to have a nice strong gallop here on Tuesday morning. Also, Omaha Beach, first time back after his impressive work on Saturday, and he was full of himself this morning as well. Obviously bounced out of that work in good fashion. He had the draw reins back on this morning. We noted last week when he first got here, he was training in draw reins. They took him off midweek last week, had him back on today, and I'm just guessing it was just to keep him from doing too much that first day back. I will guess they will be off tomorrow, but he looked terrific. He has been a picture of health and enthusiasm here all week long, and probably going to be a worthy favorite, not in the Justify range, but I think Omaha Beach will be the favorite in the Derby. As far as other Oaks horses won, I thought Leora made a good impression today for trainer Wayne Catalano. She was bouncing right along out there during the Oaks session. Very spirited gallop. And then later on at 9:30, Chocolate Kisses came out very, very late, unexpected actually, but she too was full of muscle, full of run and on the muscle. I actually timed her from the half-mile pole to the wire in 57 and change, way better than a 2-minute clip, and she looked good today coming out of her kind of maintenance-y half-mile work over the weekend. So, like I said, now the major work is all done. We're still awaiting the arrival of the Florida horses. The Japanese horse still over at Keeneland. Expect him in a day or two for our first look at him. And again, the important final days, watching to see how these horses have bounced out of their works and how they are progressing as we get closer and closer to Kentucky Derby 2019. And we will have all that information for you right here for the next several days at DRF.com.